Got a nice big group today, so welcome everybody. We might get started today. Angela and I thought we'd have a little discussion about self-care, seeing everybody seems to be in lockdown, or we're not in regional Victoria, which is good, though there are various restrictions, but not a lockdown, so we're happy about that in regional Victoria. So we just posed a few questions about having a practice. Do you have a practice? Do you use movement? Have you thought about having a practice and sort of never got around to it? So we thought we'd do a little discussion about that, and we will invite you to share some of your elements of your practice that you might, just to inspire and encourage us all, especially those of us who haven't got a practice happening at the moment. So we're just going to start with a little warm up. Do you want to do that, Angela?
Oh, okay. All right, I'll do that. I'm cool with it. I'm just going to put on some music and we'll start. Let me see what I can find on the spot. Okay, I'm just finding something. Something a little bit happy, huh? Would that be good? Happy? Doing some happy music? Okay, let me see what I can find. Oh, what this one's called mini skirt. Wonder what that is. I can't remember. But it should be good with this title like that. Is that good? Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Right, let's stand up. Okay, so let's start by moving from foot to foot. Feeling your ankles moving and your knees moving. And let's bring our elbows into this dance as well, and our wrists. Wow. And let this introduce movement to the rest of your body. See where it takes you as you shake and move. Imagine you've got your mini skirt on. And you might even look at the screen and get some suggestions. I'm seeing so many limbs moving beautifully and kicks. And can you take it into your body? Feel your belly moving.
Baby, you really blow my mind.
And take it up high and down low. Yeah. Oh, sorry, we'll stop there. Have you warmed up?
Angela, what was that piece of music called again?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's called Mini Skirt, and it's by the Kronos Quartet. You'll find it on Spotify. I wonder if I can find a link and put it in our chat area. I'll do that. I should be able to do that. Yeah, I can.
Thank you. Thanks, Angela. I was just chatting away to myself before and I was muted. But thanks for that warm up. I was saying it woke me up. I was feeling really sleepy and dozy. So thank you for that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I was just saying I was thinking about self-care practices yesterday, and as dance movement therapists or aspiring dance movement therapists, or I know as a dance movement therapist that I with people I work with individually, I give them certain practices to do, like with breathing or movement or whatever, depending on what might be needed at the time, and then as a dance movement therapist in other practices, we have supervision to make sure that we're on track and reflecting about what we're doing. But then what do we have as our own? We can, we help other people to find how to move with their bodies and how to explore and the rest of it. But what do you do? Do you have a specific practice that you do just to keep yourself balanced and in equilibrium during these times, especially of lockdown and uncertainty? And does it involve movement? So, okay, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, I'll have a go. I think there's two parts. Is the part I don't have any groups or any work at the moment in dance movement therapy. So in terms of what I used to do, I used to drive to different places. So the first thing when I would get out of my car is just take even 20 seconds, 30 seconds to stretch out and kind of ground myself and arrive in the spot. Can we mute Teresa while she's on the phone, maybe? I can go back again if you mute me, that's fine. So that's one thing I would do, just preparation. When I would finish a session, not enough actually. One of the group where I would spend most of the day, yes, I would do some breathing, some shaking in front of my car, sometimes even some notes of what happens additionally to what I would have done inside for this group, but I would just take a few notes. What I haven't done much, and that was probably not very wise, is doing even some more movement to stretch out for myself, to really look after my body. That's probably the one thing that I think I would really change if I was practicing. I was doing between 7 to 10, 12 hours a week. And I realized that especially when I had a few groups in a row, I would have needed more stretching. What I do know, what I'm doing now that we are in lockdown most of the time, is I do dance a lot. I do dance not necessarily long, but 20, 30 minutes, sometimes 45, at least 4 or 5 times a week. And I do try to get some authentic movements on a more or less regular basis. That's really keeps me healthy. And otherwise, I would say meditation is really my go-to daily. So that's probably where I'm sitting at the moment.
Thank you, Marie-Claude. Is there anything from your practice you would like to share? We could.
I just had to take a phone call, so I just missed what you had said before.
Mary Claude just was sharing about her practice, what she did when she was working, like
Yeah.
some stretching, checking out, and she was saying she does some 4 or 5 sessions of movement and authentic movement and meditation.
Right. Okay. I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have a practice. I've never really had a practice, but I would like to do something in the form of preventative medicine. And while I was working as a dance teacher, as a PDHPE teacher, I was trying to incorporate some dance movement into sport movement, sport skills. So I'd like to explore that a little bit more. I found that it was hard for me to get to dance classes. So most of the time, and I would go to the gym and work out with weights and Pilates and do a little bit of Zumba. And that was what really sustained me. And now I find it really hard because I can't go to the gym or anything like that. But I do try to do some stretches and warm-ups. I've got a bike, so every once in a while I go out with the bike. I've got a dog that I walk, so I get all that stuff in. But still, to me, it's not enough because it's not in a routine. So I find when you have a routine that it's a bit more easier because you know what you have to do, you know what time to get up, you know where you're going to go for the class and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And sometimes, Teresa, if you haven't got something to go to, just trying to establish your own routine can be really hard. I know for me, like for 10 years, I thought I'm going to get a morning practice going with a bit of movement and some breathing and meditation. And I've been saying that for 10 years. And last year I actually did. I actually started. I found a really nice breathing exercise or pattern that I really like, and I add some movement into that and a little bit of meditation at the end. And I have been doing it nearly every morning for almost a year now. So
oh wow, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really pleased because it took me 10 years to get there.
Yeah, I know it does.
But then I invited 2 people to do it with me. And so we just Zoom every morning. So it makes me get out of bed by 7:30 to turn on the Zoom, and then they join me and then we do it.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a week. And it's, that's
good.
I found that really useful. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I should try and do something like that. See if I can get maybe even one person to join me, and that'd be good. But so that's where I am now. So, and I find that I've got a lot of energy, like built up energy because you don't, when you stop working, you don't have that routine and everything. So I'm trying to devise different things to do to keep myself busy. So,
Maeve, would you like to share your routine, your practice?
Yes.
Sorry?
Would you like to share your practice with us?
Oh, so it depends on what we feel like on the day. So I've got a short 10-minute breathing practice, which is, I found it online last year. I did the embodiment conference. Did anybody do that last year?
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And there was a man called Niraj, can't remember his other name, did Soma breath, and that really appealed to me because he has some music and it's breathing in rhythm for like in for 2, out for 4, or in for 4, out for 4. And you do that for about 40, I've added up, it's about 40 breaths like that. And then you do an inhale and you hold it, and then you breathe out, and then you hold that out breath for as long as you can. And when you can no longer hold it, you take a little in breath, and then you breathe out again and hold that again. And then, you take an in breath and then breathe out, and then repeat the whole pattern of 40 breaths again, and do that again. So there's one pattern I do that's only half of that, and it's got a, then I added a little 10-minute meditation onto the end of it, because it's just, it sort of gets you into that, it really calms the nervous system and gets you into that parasympathetic state. So it's just really nice to stay there. And then I finish it off with another really nice piece of music, and then I'll just do some authentic movement to that to bring myself, out of it. So that's it.
I do a practice that kind of came to me a few years ago, and I've got a yoga background and obviously the dance, and I think it's kind of like emerged out of both of those disciplines. And because it's kind of taps into the chakras, I call it my chakra toner, but it involves some movement, and it involves like an activation of chakras, and a bit of a gratitude and attunement practice. And I'm wondering, I'd love to share it with you. And what you shared, Maeve, is a lot, it's kind of like a sitting practice that would kind of lead, like be a great follow through from a movement practice. I'm wondering if people are interested. I'm happy to share it. Where you're at.
Well, it sounds interesting. I mean, I think that's what these conversations are about, really exploring and combining different things, and making up and finding new ways of doing something that's very similar. So
this doesn't take very long. So if you'd like to stand up, and it can be dynamic, but it doesn't need to be. So just move at your own pace. So are you all familiar with the chakras? Just give me a hands up, or just say, no, I don't know anything. Yeah, you're all pretty clear. Okay. Ling Ling, are you okay? Was that a thumbs up or no?
Pardon?
Are you Ling Ling?
Yeah, I will try and follow because I don't know anything about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great. So I'll just give you a little bit of information first. So in our bodies, in our physiology, we've got, in the energetic body, we've got 7 key energy centers in our body, and they correspond with the spine. And each one of them has a different quality and offers different resources to us. For example, the base chakra's got to do more with our grounding. The second chakra's got to do more with, it's like the pleasure center, a sense of what pleases us, what we like in the world. The third chakra's to do more with our sense of agency, like what moves us to get on with things in our life. The next chakra is to do with heart opening and love, compassion. Self-expression is the throat chakra. The middle chakra is to do with intuition and insight, and also inner balance, that inner balance. And the top chakra, the crown chakra, is to do with higher consciousness, connecting to higher realms. So that's what we're activating when we're moving through them. And I do this every day. And for me, it's part of tuning into my body, tuning into myself. It helps me tap into where there might be anxiety in my body and what I can do about it and release it. So, I'm happy to share it. So we come to a comfortable standing position, and with your feet just comfortably apart. And we start with the base chakra, which is at in the back wall of the cervix. And we come off our heels a little bit. So you're just off your heels, feeling the skin of your heels maybe on the floor, but not completely off. You don't have to be trying to do a balancing act. And from there, let your knees bend a little bit and start to shake. It's just like a shaking that comes through the body. And as you do that with your heels slightly off the floor, you might feel that tapping into that base of the body in the pelvic region. So tapped like a shake, 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 shake. And there's a sound that each chakra has. And the sound of the base chakra is Lam, L-A-M, Lam. So I like to just mentally repeat the word Lam to help me focus into the base of the body. Lam, Lam. And then you can feel the breath flowing deeper into your body as you shake. It's a bopping shake. Bop, 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 bop. And then if you let your heels settle on the floor and continue to shake and bop, and you might feel that tapping a little bit higher in the sacrum area where the second chakra is. And the sound here is Vam, V-A-M. And continue to bop, bop, bop. And feel that your breath also reaches into the sacral area. Helping to release any pent-up energies there. And then gradually bring your awareness and also the sense of energy rising up into the solar plexus area. And here the movement is very different. We bring our arms up and come up onto our toes, and with our elbows making a V shape, and you can stomp down and create that exhale. Like you're generating energy, and the sound is Ram, R-A-M, Ram. Good. And I normally have a sense of when it's time, when it's like it's built up, and I then feel the energy rising up into heart space. And become aware of any tingling sensations, openings through heart space. And you can open your arms, let your arms be like the indicator of your heart space. Your hands might flow out in front of you, however they feel to move. It's almost like shaping up your kinesphere in a way, the kinesphere of the heart. And the sound is yum. It's pretty yummy. Yum. And from here we can also express gratitude, appreciation, taking a few moments here to consider what you're appreciative of, grateful for. In your life, in your surroundings, in your connections. And with the next in-breath, feel that you're breathing the energy up into the throat area. And here, let your fingers press into the base of your skull, just holding onto there, as if you're lifting your head up a little bit, and swivel from the soles of the feet, swivel like a swivel stick. as if you're spiraling the energy all the way up to the throat, from the base all the way up, from the heart all the way up to the throat. And the sound here is hum, H-A-M, or hum, H-U-M. And with the next inhalation, feel that the energy rises even higher to the eyebrow center. And here with your hands out in front of you, as if you're lifting the veils, removing the veils. Opening up for insight, intuition to shine through. And the sound here is Om. And with your next inhalation, bring your arms up all the way as if you're connecting with the celestial realm. Up on your, off your heels a little bit, as if your hands are playing with the stars. Your fingers playing with the stars, with the celestial realm. The sound here is Om as well. Connecting into higher self and being aware of higher self qualities that are coming through for you at this time. It might be love, connection, wisdom, grace. Find your word, find your quality. Enthusiasm, passion, courage. And as you exhale, feel that you start to embody this by bringing your hands to rest on your temples. Feeling the connection of breath with this higher quality that you're starting to embody. And with your next exhalation, rest your hands on your body, heart and belly, and feel that you can start to inhabit your body with breath, with qualities, with gratitude. Feeling the flow of breath, the smooth flow of breath. Connecting belly, heart, head, head, heart, belly. And from this more connected place, take a moment to contemplate one action you would like to take in your day. One, it might be one simple step, one motion towards a dream, a goal, a vision. One step. And stepping forward as if you're bringing this into the world, take a step forward and with your arms out, and so it is. And so it is, taking it out into your day. That's it. Thank you very much. maybe take a moment to, as you sit, just take a breath. Notice how you feel before we come into talking. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Ange. That was beautiful.
I find when I'm just in the flow with it, I really feel the energy flowing and generating and expanding. As just, I guess, yeah, the practice makes it more seasoned. But thank you for participating. So, and I find, like you was, like everyone else has shared as well, like having a daily practice for me is essential. I usually every morning I do a yoga routine. That's just my own routine, and I do this particular practice, and it's like brushing my teeth. I just have to do it. And there are mornings when I don't feel like doing it. Of course, I don't feel like doing it, but I just roll the mat out anyway, and I stand on the mat and I start because I know it's good for me. Yeah, so, and I find doing my daily practice is best for me in the morning, and if for whatever reason, if I haven't got to do it in the morning, I'll find some time in the day where I can do my practice. I think it, yeah, it just helps to really tone and connect, and then I'm more ready to be available as well.
Well, I admire your discipline, Angela.
Pardon? My discipline.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Grace. Yeah, it is a discipline for sure. I acknowledge that, but it also comes from need. I need it. I really need to do this because it just helps me function better in the day. I notice that difference. So, yeah, so that's where it comes from. Yeah.
That's very good. For me, self-care can be very elusive because there's always so much demands from life. And then wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, I need to do this, you know. And for me, I have a lot of computer work. And so I've taken to adjusting, for my body. So I do a Pomodoro method, which is like, have a timer for like 25 minutes to half an hour, and then 5 minutes of break. And then, during the break time, that's when you do whatever, one dance or, clown around or something, and, and so on. So I take breaks in between, the sessions of sitting down, in front of the computer, because I find that my body wasn't, I think with the stress, from COVID and all that, and lockdown and all that stuff, slowly my body's allostatic, load was kind of quite a challenge. So I take, to also like doing, putting on, the blue light blockers, for daytime as well as nighttime. So now after the sun goes down, I don't work on a computer anymore. So that is a discipline I do. And with the night glasses, it helps my body to create the melatonin naturally. So then I go to sleep better. I have better quality sleep and so on. So it sort of helped my body, cope with all the challenges, that's going around, not just from my own life, but, the broader, all the threats and all this conflicting, whatever. So much going on, can't miss it. Like, the news is another influence and all that. I try not, to go into that. So yeah, so these are some of the things that I help. It works for me. It helps. So my body is able to cope and able to regulate better. So yeah, that's some of the things. Then the normal is like, you know, the prayer, the chanting, the contemplation. I used to do Tai Chi yoga, you know, and all that stuff. And yes, of course, a dance. Put on the clown music and clown around or something. Or it just lifts the mood. It changes the mood. So I try to do that in between sitting down in front of the computer. So I find that helps. It helps concentration. And it's better for the body not to sit, you know, for a long time in one go. That's definitely, you know, the new way to go. So that works, yeah, very well, you know, for me. Then I try to do something that I love to do in a day, just something, you know, that I'll be happy, and then or maybe small task that, you know, I want to finish, and then I finish it. So that helps sort of like a sense of agency, like, oh yeah, I finished, you know, what I wanted to do, just a small one. And then so that's how, you know, keep myself motivated instead of feeling that hopelessness or, you know, being trapped, you know, in lockdown. So then I have my toys, my singing bowls, my, you know, the sound, the voice, you know, all sorts of stuff, the drawing, and, you know, dance and all that. So yeah, is that self-care? I don't know. I don't have a steady practice. Still don't have really sort of like I should have my spiritual practice, but life is my spiritual practice. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Grace. What you said about, I think is important, is finding something that really suits you. Like we can try on all sorts of different things. I know I did that for a long while and it took ages, you know, just to finally finding something that really resonated with me that I could stick to. Thank you, Grace. Is there anybody else would like to share anything about their practice?
Last year, actually, it was just before the first lockdown. I went away for 5 days just to have to go and have a 1.5 hour session with my own direct tutor around a Qigong exercise, a routine, and to develop my own personal routine for what I needed at the time. And I can be really good at doing it every day, and then I'll go for runs where I sort of don't do it. But it's a bit similar with your chakra one, Angela, in that there's a particular movement, there's a sound that I also make with each of the organs. The one I'm doing that I really love is around the different organs of the body. And yeah, it's a bit different to the chakras, but it's focusing on the actual organs. So it's focusing on the heart, it's focusing on the liver, it's focusing on the kidneys, and it's looking at moving the energy and the flow through the organs of the body, and then also what are the feelings and emotions that are connected with those organs. But very, very similar in that, yes, you do, you know, I'm doing the movement and the sound. And I try to do that most days. I've been a bit slack lately, but I'm just getting back into it, which is great, because I actually find it really makes a difference in my energy and just how the rest of the day goes. And I try to go outside to do it. I'm fortunate in that I've got, you know, some paddocks beside me, so I can go, you know, around the side of the house where hopefully the neighbours don't see me. However, I've also been known to stand out the very front because that's where the sun is. And I'm doing it, you know, in that beautiful morning sun. Yeah, and it only takes, I don't know, about 10 minutes, and it does make a big difference. The other thing, yeah, I try to get a walk in with the dogs, which I've just started again. I sort of lost the plot for a couple of weeks. And in the evenings, I'm finding music when I'm doing dinner or when I'm actually packing or unpacking the dishwasher. and I've really worked that I can really get some strong muscle movement, because I've discovered that I can actually, if I go down to quite a lunge, I can reach from the dishwasher all the way across to the cupboard where all of the pans and saucepans and that go. So, you know, I'm even doing it, you know, and like holding it for strength. So I hope no one ever sees me in my kitchen, but yeah, I'm finding that can really help center me, especially if I've had a big day at work. That is just a way of just de-stressing with some great music on and dancing while I'm doing dinner. And occasionally, you know, I forget about dinner and I just keep dancing. So I've been known to burn things too. But yeah, that's not every day. That's just the occasional thing, but it just really lifts my spirits. And I loved I think it was Grace that you said about just fitting in, you know, one thing that's going to make you feel happy in that day or give me joy. And I've realized that that's something I often forget, that I just get so busy and I'll go from, you know, work to come home to doing notes and stuff on the computer. And so thank you. I'm going to embrace that one and just think about what's even just one small thing that just gives me that bit of joy and happy. That's not the typical about, you know, yes, hugging the dogs, but something different. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, can I just add, there are a lot of people that do Qigong on YouTube. There's lots of different people that have short practices, long practices. Lee Holden has some really good short practices. Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie. I can imagine you stretching in your kitchen and lunging. I like that. Maybe we should all start doing that.
Actually, I also discovered I've got quite a heavy wooden chopping board, and I also discovered that it can be really good to be, you know, just lifting it up and moving it from side to side for some upper limb strength and pushing it forward and backward with this heavy wooden board. So I also sort of get a bit of a giggle doing it, thinking how stupid it must look.
And you don't need a gym.
No, no.
Kitchen gym.
I find if I do stretches in the morning or even stretches at night and take deep breaths, that really relaxes me, and you could just feel your muscles just elongating, and you know, and that's a really nice feeling. I really like that one. I could almost fall asleep in some of the positions, you know, some of the stretches. But yeah. I know you don't need a gym because there's plenty of stuff around the house. You could push and pull like a mop, a vacuum.
Can I just say it's really nice to hear everybody's struggle with this, that it's still an ongoing thing. And I really liked, sorry, I can't remember who it was that said that your life is a spiritual practice. And just that idea, I think about self-care too. I find for me, it can often be like something on my to-do list that I can feel guilt around because I haven't done that. So just shifting towards acknowledging the little things I'm doing in the day that are self-care, that might just be normal, but it's like hanging out the washing. I'll choose to walk across the grass bare feet and take that moment of hanging out the washing to think of it as grounding and connecting with nature rather than just a chore, and to say I'm loving myself by doing this right now. And just those little things, then I'm more inclined to want to put more time across because I'm not thinking of it as a negative thing that I haven't done and feeling bad because I'm not caring for myself. It's like just putting that music on, dancing around the kitchen island with the kids while I'm cooking dinner and going, no, and acknowledging when I do those little moments. just helps shift. Yeah, for me, it's more of a mindset when I struggle to get the big chunks of time, because it doesn't have to be massive chunks of time. So, me.
I think that's something, Anna, that you mentioned that's really very cool, is it doesn't need to be a chunk of time. I remember one of the weekend training with Marcia Leventhal, and we're talking about also, you know, how you take care of yourself. And I remember these probably about 1 minute practice, you know, just putting your feet on your ground, open your arm, whatever feels right for you, but just, or maybe just a symbol, something that kind of calms you down or lifts you up, and or just say a kiss to your kids. I mean, I totally agree. It doesn't need to be. And one of the things that I do more and more, and I really need to learn about that for me, is to appreciate when I do something, as small as it is, because the what you're saying about the speech of going, oh, I haven't done, or I should have done, etc. That's something that is not helping. It's kind of putting even more strain and strain into the whole process. So I recently did quite a lot of meditation around that, and kind of is a never-ending story, but kind of say, okay, that's it. Shouldn't, wouldn't, can't, etc. Get out of the way. You know, it's like, no. And I think those process that we're going through, like what you were saying, and you're recognizing what you're enjoying, it's really helpful, because then we're not putting even more pressure on something that is already maybe difficult, or there are many things we do in a day that really are helping ourselves. I mean, we have an amazing body to begin with that helps us move around. We have our head that helps us think and work and do things. So it's there, and I really like the recognition of what is rather than what isn't. That's something, that's a theme that is really with me this year. What is rather than what isn't as well. So thank you.
Yeah, maybe I will share, but it's not so much of a practice, but I thought that it's just perhaps just habits that I learn to try to hold on to. Yeah, because actually I'm from Singapore here, and I work in the social service sector. For this period of COVID, it is really quite difficult on the social service sector here. Like I actually have a lot of my colleagues, they are actually having burnout, and sometimes at some point that I do experience overwhelming, sense of stress, over at the chest area as well. Yeah, it's really quite difficult for some of the professionals. So for me, I kind of put this as a habit, is to like every Wednesday morning, I actually kind of connected with my friends to go for a walk. Yeah, and I try to set aside, because this is part of also a spiritual practice as well, that I used to do work on a Sunday. Okay, but now I learned to kind of drop everything and then put it aside. But I also really like just now when Debbie was talking about, about she being in the kitchen with the dishes, and it kind of reminded me being in the kitchen too. And I thought a few days ago that I actually was actually grumbling over doing housework. Yeah, housework, because it's never ending.
Yep.
And yeah, so then I kind of somehow at that moment I kind of connected that even doing housework, as long as it kind of fulfill my need to be a dutiful mother towards my children, and that kind of helped me to ground myself, that while it may be mundane, but then it connected to a deeper meaning of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah, so that kind of helped me to be more grounded in the different mundane activities that I need to go through every day. Yeah, that's how I get through my days. Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, anything, I do, I can turn it into a mindfulness, exercise. Yeah, as long as we turn, the mind, and so we could be doing anything, and practice along. So one of the things before, when there's no lockdown, I would like 5 o'clock, and that's it, call it a day. And then, I will go for a walk, with my husband. But during the walk, I will take my beats with me. It'll be chanting, meditating, walking, and then, just listening also at the same time to him. So I'm just like packed life, and then at the same time you practice along, whatever we could do to make the best, out of whatever. And then cooking is another bane. It's like in the end I stopped struggling and not expecting other people to cook, in the house. I thought, okay, I'll have challenged myself how to make it faster, more tasty, and happy, that there's something I want to eat. So, that's a motivation too. And it becomes a joy, it can be, so rather than, oh, mundane, oh my God, and then you get all sick in. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Sort of coming to the end of our time. I found this really valuable. I really like the ideas of kitchen dancing, which I used to do, but I haven't done for a while, and fitting things in, and just finding those moments in the day just to add a little bit for joy, do a stretch or whatever.
yeah. It's good to be reminded, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
And then that sort of, there's a lot to be appreciative of that way, isn't there? Like those small moments in the day that can bring some joy and value. Like, okay, it's not just a mundane task. There's an added dimension to it of great value. Yeah.
So maybe just to finish, we could just do a breath in with a stretch, and then breathing out. And again, just breathing in. And as you're breathing out, just connecting with somebody else on the screen. And just one more time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. How wonderful to see you all.
Yeah.
Good seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I do.